Hey, what's up you guys, it's Dorothy and welcome back to my channel. In today's video we're going to go into chapter 66 of Lost by James Patterson. So let's get right into this video. This video may contain sensitive topics and foul language. If you do not wish to continue, I suggest you click off the video now. You have been warned. Chapter 66. I sat in the conference room at the task force offices with Marie Meyer and Steph Hall. Both of them looked fresh while I looked like I hadn't slept much because I hadn't. Marie's informant in Amsterdam had said to expect the ship to dock somewhere in the southeast sometime tomorrow, but that was all the information available. Marie said it comes from a well-placed informant, but they say they're getting only bits and pieces. They pass on the information as soon as they get it. Steph shook her head and said that rules out undertaking any kind of rescue of high seas, which was a long shot in the first place, but we've got to free those people as quickly as possible. There's no telling what sort of conditions they're being held in. That's why I liked working with Steph Hall. She understood what was important. All the arrest sorts in the world didn't help someone who died while being trafficked. Warner Perez said I've been looking at some financial info we've gotten off of Rostov. Most of it appears legit. He donates a shitload of money to a Miami Beach councilman and charities associated with Miami Beach. He's getting a humanitarian award there next week. I said, great. Everyone thinks he's a prince while in reality he ruins lives. Lorna said his main muscle, Billy the Blade, lives in Fort Lauderdale. He doesn't owe anything to his condo or his Corvette. Lorna was matter-of-fact when she passed on information. She was an accountant, but she knew how to figure out relationships by following the money. She was good on surveillance, too. No one suspected that a beautiful woman with big hair and perfect makeup was actually a cop. I stood up. I hate to say it, but it's time. I have a discussion with the boss about what we're going to do. Steph said, good luck. You're not coming with me? Oh, hell no. It's depressing to go in there. He sucks the life out of me. If I ever get that skittish, I hope someone shoots me. You'll be lucky if someone doesn't shoot you for other reasons long before that. She tried to hide it, but she laughed. That gave me the courage I needed to march into the supervisor's office. Still, I felt like I was walking the Green Mile. To me, the supervisor's office seemed antiseptic and fake. He had certificates and newspaper articles framed and hanging on the wall. Everything had a place. There was no mess on the desk. In police work, I considered that the mark of someone who was not doing enough. I don't care how OCD you are. If you're busy in law enforcement, shit gets messy, both figuratively and literally. I stood in the doorway until the supervisor looked up from the computer screen. I always got the impression he was a little annoyed when he had to speak to someone personally instead of reading a report. He said from his desk, "Can I help you?" It was hardly a warm invitation, but this had to get done. I stepped into the office and sat down in the chair directly across from the desk. I quickly explained the developing situation and finished up saying all we have to do is identify the right ship, then make a tactical entry, possibly get a search warrant to go through the containers as rapidly as possible. We don't want to risk the lives of the people being trafficked. I sat in an awkward and uncomfortable silence with my supervisor, considered everything I said. After almost a minute, he said, so that's all we need to do, just identify the right ship out of the hundreds that enter our Florida ports every day. Go to a magistrate with a pile of info coming from God knows where, then risk the lives of FBI personnel as well as civilian port workers by assaulting the ship. That's all we have to do. Then I'm thrilled with your plan. When you say it like that, it sounds almost impossible. How should I say it? I'm the one responsible for everyone's safety on this task force and everyone's actions. Are you saying we should do nothing? I kept my voice under control just barely. He shrugged. For now, keep gathering more intel. The information coming from Holland is sketchy at best. You're talking about using multiple agents on surveillance for several days, plus I'm still clearing up some of your mess from that wild goose chase down at Port Everglades. I've had more than a few calls from the bigwigs at Customs who say you insulted their agents in the agency. Is that true? Insulted or enlightened is a matter of interpretation. The supervisor said the custom agents at Port Everglades would disagree with that. Sure they would. No one wants to admit that it was a Miami cop who discovered a whole container of illegal tropical birds, and the smuggler ran halfway across port property before anyone from Customs even bothered to waddle out of the cars and to see what was going on. The supervisor said, so you see my point. Do more background and let's see how things shake out before we commit to too many resources to this human trafficking case. We already have the one arrest of the Dutch guy at the airport. The lawyer and me was ready to debate the purpose of law enforcement in general and this task force in particular. Instead, I took a shortcut. I said, that's fine, no problem. I'll just call the Miami police. Their SWAT team has a lot more experience than the FBI's anyway. They'll swoop in and grab those people. They won't That way we won't risk any resources from the task force. I had to fight to keep the smug smile off my face. After considering this for 10 seconds longer than I thought he would, he said, "Don't call the Miami police. I can justify this as part of the task force activity. I was just worried because intercepting a ship can be tactically difficult. I don't want to risk lives unnecessarily. I don't know anyone who does. I'm sure we can handle it within the task force. Some surveillance, and we'll get a DHS agent on the case with us. Most important, we'll make sure to get some stats for the task force." I could tell by his smile that stats were his real goal. That is the end of this chapter. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.